The low hum of the engine reverberated through the night as I navigated the desolate road, a ribbon of asphalt cutting through an ocean of impenetrable darkness. The moon, obscured by thick clouds, occasionally peeked through, casting an eerie glow on the twisted branches of the gnarled trees lining the sides of the desolate highway. Gripping the steering wheel, I felt a sense of isolation, as if the shadows themselves were closing in on me. In the distance, a haunting howl echoed through the stillness, sending a shiver down my spine. I tried to dismiss it as a lonely coyote, but my eyes betrayed my unease as they darted nervously to the obscurity beyond the reach of my headlights. The car's radio crackled to life, emitting a distorted melody that seemed to synchronize with the increasing tempo of my heartbeat. Glancing at the rearview mirror, I caught a fleeting glimpse of a figure in the back seat, a silhouette, impossibly dark against the dim glow of the dashboard. My breath caught, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. Heart pounding, I slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching in protest. The figure vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving me alone with the echoes of my own apprehension. Fumbling for my phone, I sought reassurance in the glow of its screen, only to be met with a single bone-chilling message. "You're not alone." The engine sputtered, and the darkness seemed to press in from all sides. Every rustle of the wind became a sinister whisper, and every shadow held the potential for unseen menace. As I accelerated, the road stretched endlessly before me, the familiar landmarks now distorted and warped into unsettling forms. A pair of luminous eyes materialized in the distance, staring fixedly into mine. I tried to convince myself it was just an animal, but the unease persisted. The headlights flickered, casting intermittent glimpses of the ominous road ahead. The radio's static grew louder, punctuated by disjointed voices whispering incomprehensible words. A bone-chilling gust of wind swept through the car, extinguishing the warmth. Frost formed on the windows, and the temperature plummeted, leaving me in an icy cocoon of fear. In the dead of night, a figure appeared in the middle of the road, a ghostly face twisted in a ghastly grin. Panic set in as I swerved to avoid the apparition, tires screeching in protest. The road transformed into a twisted labyrinth of nightmares, each turn revealing a new horror. Shadows danced in the periphery, and the whispers intensified, questioning my sanity. Finally, as the first rays of dawn broke through the horizon, the radio fell silent, and the chilling messages ceased. My surroundings returned to normal, but as the sun bathed the world in light, I couldn't shake the lingering feeling that something, or someone, still watched from the shadows, patiently waiting for the next unsuspecting traveler. The night wrapped around me like a suffocating cloak as I drove along the desolate highway, the only company being the rhythmic hum of the engine. The moon hid behind thick clouds, casting an otherworldly glow on the twisted branches of the trees lining the road. My fingers gripped the steering wheel, tension mounting with each passing mile. A distant howl pierced the silence, sending a shiver down my spine. I dismissed it as a trick of the wind, but my eyes darted nervously to the shadows dancing at the edge of my headlights. The radio crackled to life, emitting a haunting melody that seemed to echo the unease settling in my chest. Glancing in the rearview mirror, I caught a glimpse of a figure in the back seat, a silhouette blending with the darkness. My breath caught, and I quickly turned to look, only to find an empty car. The air inside the vehicle grew heavy with an unspoken presence, and a whispering wind seemed to carry words just beyond my comprehension. I pressed on, the road stretching endlessly before me, each curve revealing a new layer of the unknown. The moon intermittently cast eerie shadows, creating fleeting illusions that played tricks on my mind. A feeling of being watched intensified with every passing moment. As I reached for the radio to break the oppressive silence, the static grew into a cacophony of dissonant voices. Each station seemed to broadcast fragments of a story, a disjointed narrative that left me on edge. The air inside the car thickened with an otherworldly tension, and a cold wind whispered through the cracked windows. The headlights flickered, casting intermittent glimpses of the road ahead. In the distance, a figure stood motionless, bathed in an ethereal glow. Panic surged as I approached, and I swerved to avoid it, heart pounding against the confines of my chest. The road became a maze of uncertainty, each turn revealing a surreal landscape. Shadows played tricks on my perception, and the whispers grew into an unsettling chorus. The boundary between reality and nightmare blurred, leaving me questioning the sanity of the night. Just as I thought I couldn't bear the surreal torment any longer, the first light of dawn began to break through the horizon. The radio fell silent, the shadows retreated, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. The road, once a haunting labyrinth, now stretched ahead, normal and unremarkable. Yet, even in the warm embrace of daylight, a lingering sense of disquiet remained. The night drive had etched an indelible mark on my consciousness, a haunting reminder that sometimes the most chilling horrors unfold under the cover of darkness. The car's tires hummed a rhythmic tune on the desolate highway as we drove into the heart of the night, the only illumination coming from the dim glow of the dashboard and the occasional flicker of passing streetlights. The moon played hide-and-seek behind ominous clouds, casting an unpredictable dance of shadows inside the car. My friend, Jake, sat in the passenger seat, his eyes fixed on the road ahead. A distant howl echoed through the darkness, punctuating the quiet conversation we'd been having. We exchanged uneasy glances, dismissing it as a trick of the night. Yet, the unease lingered, heightened by the road stretching endlessly before us. The radio crackled to life, emitting a distorted melody that sent shivers down our spines. We fumbled with the knobs, trying to silence the eerie sounds that seemed to resonate with the increasing tension inside the car. Glancing at Jake, I could see the same unease mirrored in his eyes. As we continued our journey, the atmosphere grew thick with an unspoken tension. The car's interior seemed to constrict around us, and the shadows cast by passing trees played tricks on our imagination. An inexplicable chill settled in, and the air felt charged with an unsettling energy. In the dim glow of the dashboard, I caught a glimpse of a figure in the back seat, a silhouette that shouldn't have been there. My breath caught, and I motioned to Jake. We both turned, eyes widening in shared disbelief. The figure, indistinct and ethereal, seemed to dissipate as we stared, leaving behind an eerie stillness. The road ahead twisted into a surreal landscape, and the radio's static intensified, as if trying to drown out the inexplicable encounter. Whispers of words lingered in the air, barely audible but undeniably present. Jake and I exchanged nervous glances, the weight of the unknown pressing upon us. Headlights flickered, casting intermittent glimpses of an unsettling reality. In the distance, a figure stood motionless, illuminated by the glow of an unseen source. Panic set in as I swerved to avoid it, the tires screeching in protest, and Jake and I shared a moment of silent terror. The road unraveled into a labyrinth of uncertainty, each turn revealing a new layer of the surreal. Shadows danced on the periphery, and the whispers grew into an unsettling symphony. The boundary between reality and nightmare blurred as we clung to the familiarity of the car, now a fragile sanctuary in the midst of the unknown. With the first light of dawn breaking through the horizon, the radio fell silent, and the shadows retreated. The road, once a nightmarish maze, now stretched ahead in the ordinary light of day. Jake and I exchanged a bewildered look, grappling with the shared experience that defied explanation. The night drive had forged a bond between us, an unspoken understanding that some horrors are best faced with the companionship of another.